He's going to Narnia in the toilet.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
We are here on the House of I podcast. We have Laura,
Hi.
Yanni,
AKA Kid Loki and Yanni Acropolis.
Yes.
Here.
Government and nicknames / street names.
Trademark and
Love it.
copywritten.
Thanks.
I love it.
Thanks.
What a hell of an introduction. So what have you guys been up to today?
A little thing we like to call sleep.
Nice.
More like overdosing on sleep.
Yeah.
To the point where like
That's not a thing. That's
No.
not a thing. Overdosing
No.
on sleep. It's
No.
not a thing.
I worked an 18-hour shift at a convenience store last night.
Yeah.
Needed, huh?
Much
Much
needed
needed.
sleep. Much
I
needed
went out
rest.
with a bunch of coworkers and stayed out till like 2, and then like I got here and then like I hung out for a little bit. Daniel was dead ass asleep. I forgot he had to work today. So I got home and then he was like knocked out. I was like, fuck.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Bahama Breeze. The food was not that great. It really
Which
wasn't.
Bahama Breeze did you
But
go
the
to?
service is excellent.
Yes,
there.
yeah. Which Bahama Breeze did you go to?
The one on, is it Courtney Camp? Some bridge, off the bridge there. Where Whiskey Joe's is right next to it.
Is it in Brandon?
No,
Okay,
not at all.
Never mind. Because the Bahama Breeze in Brandon is superb. Let me just
Is
mention
it?
that. Yes, the service quality there is fantastic, especially a waiter named Eric Thomas.
Okay.
Eric Thomas has especially good service. When you go there, he's a really cool dude. He kind of looks like Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, but that was like his 8th grade phase. That was the homeboy I knew in 8th grade. But yeah, he works there. He's a cool dude. So if you go there, tip him nicely because he's cool.
The service was good.
Yeah,
It was,
good.
but like I made the mistake of ordering chicken wings, and I ordered the chicken wings thinking that I was gonna get like Wing House chicken wings or Hooters chicken.
Should have went to
Lies.
Should have went to Hooters.
Yeah, no lies. I got some weird pineapple-y like Caribbean wings, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm like, I am so sorry. I can't eat these.
Were they too sweet? Is that the thing?
Yeah, like it was just, I guess it was just not what I was expecting. So I returned them nicely. And then I had my other food. And then we went to Whiskey Joe's.
Did
where
you
we got
exchange it?
pretty-
I
No.
didn't know what happened to the wings.
No, I gave them back. I guess they threw them out. I'm not going to lie. I don't know. Maybe someone ate them,
Okay.
honestly. Some
Hey.
cook back there,
Hey,
probably.
why not? They worked hard to make those.
Does
You know?
anybody else use like a certain menu item as a litmus test at a new restaurant? Like I use a burger, like a burger and a beer. Like
Yeah,
if they have a house beer and a house burger, I want to try that before I try anything else.
Yeah, that's a good way to start.
It's your litmus test. If that's bad, you're not trying anything else on the menu. But if it's good, you'll move on or get that as your stationary thing. Or
That's
yeah.
an interesting perspective. I've literally never thought of that before, ever. And that's a good, I feel like if a restaurant definitely has its own beer, that would be a good thing to start off with, you know.
Right, like try the house lager, like what they brew or what they bring in from local, and then like I always think a burger, like if you mess up the burger, I don't want anything else.
Yeah.
Like I don't want something complicated if the burger comes out bad.
Yeah, because
We went-
that's simple.
We all went to the Coppertail that one time with Kyle, but then we went one day after work with my friends Eric and Aaron, and he had the burger, so he can attest that Coppertail's burger. Delicious.
Did you like it? Oh, you liked it?
It was great, and I like I said, I just had the house burger. Like I had whatever the basic cheeseburger was, not like a spicy burger or something crazy.
Huh.
Like I just tried the basic like burger, cheese, bread, like toppings, and like it was great. But like there were other like culinary things there that like you might not, if you went off the bat trying that and like paired it with the wrong beer, you would have hated it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or like it would be a little like foreign to see like something like they had these little pork.
Yeah, they're like pork wings. But they're pretty much like chuletas. You know, the little cube steaks that those Puerto Ricans make.
Yeah.
But they're like cubed pork, and then they still have they put the bone in it, but it was like really like it fell off the bone. Our friend Aaron had them, and it came with like a habanero sauce.
Oh, shit.
And he said that they were really, really good because, like, you know, a really good, like, I don't know if they're called chicharrones.
Pam
Cat
just
avalanche.
she
Cat
just
avalanche.
tried to climb up on a bunch
Furniture
of
Everest.
furniture with cushions, and it obviously slid on her, so she jumped on top of the table that we're recording on right now. It's pretty funny. She almost made, well, it made a little bit of noise, but it almost made way more noise than it had to.
Yeah.
And we were watching her do it. We were kind of like, I saw her from the corner of my eye. I was like, this motherfucker.
You let this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You
I
did.
could have yelled, but I did not want to stop the flow of the conversation.
So
which
now
was
that's
happening.
in the conversation now.
I've had, I think the first time I went to Coppertail, I think they had just released like their food menu, or their menu for food. And we had their Mac Bites, which was pretty fucking good. I didn't have anything else. Oh, yep, you're right. Yeah, it was the tater tots.
They had cheese on them.
Loaded tater tots.
It was, that shit was so good.
Yeah, I got the tater tots, but with chili on them. They were delicious. Then the next day, I had them left over, and then I made breakfast. I put them in a pan with the chili in it, and then I cracked an egg, and they made like one of those big omelet things.
Smart.
Yes, those things are delicious.
Like a
Smart.
frittata.
Yeah, like a frittata.
Like a frittata
quiche.
over there.
Like a quiche of frittata. Hey, a kuna frittata, you know?
Kuna frittata.
A kuna frittata.
So I guess like now that we're kind of starting after having that that real conversation, I guess explain what you guys, Kid Loki and Fly Mordecai, do together as a group, and I guess your endeavors right now in the music business. Go ahead and explain those things if you don't mind.
Well, honestly, I think we should start from the beginning of where it all began.
Oh
And-
shit, dude!
Damn, bro. Let's just wind it up in a nutshell and like say the story that we tell everyone that's like, oh, how'd you guys meet? Here's the story, all right? Here's the story.
Here's the
Y'all
story.
about how you guys
Just sing,
okay,
yeah.
you guys
just-
introduced me, Liz and Danny. You two introduced me to this dude over here. Yeah,
Technically, yeah.
Vicariously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know?
vicariously,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we went to Becca's party,
Yep.
the going away party, and I didn't know if I was gonna go or not because it was so far away.
Shit,
Yes.
We were all there.
Yes, we were.
And I went basically like to wish Becca and AJ off to Seattle, and then also like to kind of go as like bro support for my friend because he has social issues where he just feels like stuck, like he doesn't want to be that dude stuck in it, alone with a drink and just like, okay, so what do I do now for 3 hours?
Yeah.
And I know I have that problem at a party where like if I get stuck like without I brought this person, so we're gonna kind of like
Be in the
butterfly
party together.
each other, ourselves together.
Mhm.
Sometimes you get stuck somewhere and you're just like, okay, what do I do now? Okay, I'm gonna eat this whole tray of crap.
But yeah,
I
like
someone
I
else's.
forgot
Yeah.
we were all there.
we
Yeah.
showed up to the party, and then I walked in, and I saw this handsome, tall Greek man sitting down. So I didn't realize how tall he was exactly until he stood up.
You didn't
and-
know he was Greek.
No, I didn't. And I didn't know that he was Chris's brother either.
Yeah.
We
me
actually
either.
compared genealogy. We were just like, man, you look interesting. Okay, blah
How are
blah
you?
blah. I'm
blah,
this.
blah,
I'm
blah,
this.
blah,
I'm
blah,
this.
blah.
I'm
Oh yeah,
this.
true. This,
Really,
this,
really
this, this.
quick.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when I found out that you guys were seeing each other, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool,
Yeah.
man. Like I was like, that makes
Didn't
sense.
let me finish the story.
Go ahead,
though.
finish the story.
Okay, but remember at the party there was a ukulele there. That was Becca's ukulele.
Oh, I was
tuned
gonna
it.
say that, yeah.
Yeah, I tuned it and I played ukulele out in the patio, and then I made one person cry, and then
You made me cry. I cried.
aw, thanks,
Remember?
bro.
You remember
Yeah.
that? You
You
remember
did
that?
make me cry. That's because someone else
She did not make you cry.
No, we did have a
We
crying
did. We
moment.
had a moment.
Don't deny
Yeah.
his tears.
At that moment when she played?
No, it was
It was-
after Chris.
Okay,
Chris was
Check on
Chris
your
was-
tough friends.
Amen.
Chris complimented you.
Yeah, he was like, man, I have a niece that's like reminds me of you, and I hope that when she grows up, she's as cool as you. And I started to cry.
And I started to cry.
Yes. But the whole time,
And then we gave each other a nice big hug.
yes, but the whole time I was out in the patio, like singing and serenading, I was just making like subtle eye contact to Yanni, and I was just like, oh hey, these lyrics are kind of about you and how sexy you are. Hey, how you doing? And then we canoodled in the kitchen for like maybe 15 minutes, and then exchanged Facebook info and Then one night he just messaged me out of the blue, which I thought were Rush lyrics, because he just messaged me burning the midnight oil, and I just thought of
Isn't that Jimmy?
no, it's
Rush and I think Three Dog Night have references of that.
yeah,
expression
but the song
in
I'm
a
thinking
song.
of is Train to Bogota. Or no, Bangkok. No, is it? Oh man, I'm gonna look such like a dweeb on this fucking podcast because I don't know
That's
this.
okay.
And I love Rush.
I get
Emmett, please
this
don't hate
problem
me.
too.
Yeah.
No, I go blank when I
Yeah.
start speaking on this podcast for some reason.
Yes,
I
but-
can't think.
Yes. It reminded me of a Rush song, so I sent the next lyric back, and he was like, "That's not what I meant, but oh, that's cool."
We kept going. We kept kind of riding that joke into the morning, like pretty
Yeah.
much. Like I was working at the Dallas Bull, which is funny because she works a block away from that.
Literally.
And I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I was working at the Dallas Bull, and I'd get out 3-4 in the morning sometimes, and just like I'd see she was online, and like once or twice I was like, nah, I should wait. Nah, she's not really up. Like it's, like she left the phone or left the computer on, and she's not really up, so I'm not gonna have one of those awkward haze. And then like 4 hours, like oh. So I just didn't message until I thought it was the right time, and she responded, and I invited her over to my house, and it was really cute because like we almost like she rolled up in her car, and it was like we like called each other to see what each other was wearing, almost like we're both wearing gray sweaters with blue jeans and gray socks or shoes.
Yeah.
And at one point I was trying to impress her, so I pulled out my phone and had all these beats on it that I made on a free app, and I like started rapping over them, and then she just pulled out the phone and pulled out a keyboard app and started playing keyboard over the beat. and then it's history from there.
True.
I don't know what to do with my hands. That's what the problem is. That's what it is. I've always had problems with mic dynamic, if you couldn't tell. But I'm always like, but like, it just
I wish I had
adds.
video for that. He's just moving the mic
Back and
left
forth.
left and right of his face.
Yeah, I can even-
Oh.
It's like you're getting your hair cut.
around here.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's. I don't know where I was
that
going with
that was
that.
our
but-
first date, and then we've been together for 6 months.
And we've been almost inseparable for about a month.
Pretty
Besides
much.
work,
Yeah.
besides work and going number 2, like we don't
Damn,
really
you don't see each other
separate.
Go number 2, man.
Not yet. That's more of
bathroom
like
door
that's more of
stays
like a
closed
year. That's like
until
for the first
first year.
anniversary.
It's okay. I
Together.
don't see Ellie. She doesn't see. Well, no, she sees me poop, but I don't see her poop ever. So
Right. There's got to be.
For the record, is because he leaves the bathroom door open for everyone to see.
Hey,
Pam has
To see his what to
experienced
see.
it as well.
Oh, poor
we
Pam.
make our own beef jerky.
Oh,
we shit
God.
with the door open. We've never done
any of those things.
Pam likes to be the nicest to me when I'm pooping. I don't. I don't get that.
She like rubs your back. She's like, "It's okay, honey." She holds your hair. Like, it's okay.
No, she'll come up to my knee and she's like, "Hey, pet me right now," and I'm like, "Dude, I'm pooping, man."
Yeah.
Like,
How can you stand the smell, Pam? Shit.
Right,
She
all
doesn't
my
give a fuck.
concentration is going in one place right now.
oh, poop.
But I myself as Kid Loki, I've been playing ukulele since I was 18, and then I've been hosting this music showcase at the Bunker in Ybor every Thursday. And since we've been together dating, he's been helping me, and like we've actually become hosts, like co-hosts with
Yeah.
each other, and which is awesome because he helps me book a lot of shows. And if sometimes if an act cancels on us, we jump right in. Sorry, got too excited. We jump right in and we play because we're both musicians, so we are able to like jump in and pick up from wherever someone left off.
Yeah, that's cool because, I mean, obviously I've seen you perform, Laura, many times now, and that, you know, whenever it's always fantastic when I see
thanks,
that.
man.
I haven't seen Yanni play yet, so that's gonna be a fun day.
Not besides back porches and barbecues, basically. But,
Yeah.
but we'll get there. I've actually been playing since I was 14, and I'm 34 now. And like
20 years.
Yeah, 2 decades of, and like I mean, I'm not saying like I started off playing in front of 300 people or anything like that, but I started off playing bass in a band. I didn't want to. Really in general, I wanted to sing in a band, and like I didn't feel it was fair to just be the singer and not know how to play anything, and that's what led me to learning how to play keyboard and guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you play like multiple instruments, right? What is it that what can you play? Because I've seen you play multiple things already.
I don't have a solid count, but really anything with strings I can mess with. Ukulele kind of actually bewilders me, and it's weird because everyone says it's so simple, and I think that's what gets me about it is that it's so simple that I kind of overthink it, and then I just make really dissonant noises on it. I don't like it, but
Not to be mean, but the ukulele might be the Forrest Gump of all instruments. Like, it might seem really simple, but in the end, it's all really beautiful.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
That was wisdom right there. Boom.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely.
But like I play the guitar, the piano. I dabble with the violin. I play the mandolin. I dabble with drums. I can play bass. I can do some programming in between. Drumming wise, I'm not really a very technical drummer, but like I could drum for an AC/DC cover band or like a very steady indie rock or surf band if I had to, or like your standard hip hop beats and basic things like that I can do, but really all those things were just because I couldn't find people to do things for me, and I was just like, well, I'll do it myself, and like it'll I can at least take my own credit for it. I can own it if like I did it myself, even if it's not what I wanted. Like I did it, and I've been in several projects that have gone up to recording or releasing a record, but I've never gone past like I've never gone on a regional tour, or I've played out of state or out of country, but I've never like done a tour doing it. It's really just like I did something kind of informal and somehow got some exposure or some credit out of luck.
Yeah.
And it's a long road. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
So now that, like, I mean, the thing that you guys are doing, along with creating music, like actually starting rooms and stuff like that, I listen to a lot of comedians talk on podcasts, and the way that they make it, or not even make it, but the way that they get the community like around them and, you know, like this, I guess, followers really is by doing things like that, like making their own rooms. And I don't have the balls to do that, but you guys do, and it's cool. Like it's inspiring to see that, because it makes me realize that that's something that I should be way more a part of, and I'm just a fucking hermit.
Rooms meaning like the venue or the event that we host?
Yeah, like basically like what you're doing with the bunker. You're the host of that. Like that's you are creating something. You're creating a room for artists to come and perform, you know?
Right, it's a live forum.
Yeah.
It's something that
In
we
our
can
environment, yeah.
get in each other's interfaces and kind of say, hey, I like this, or hey, I thought you could work on this, or hey, that was really interesting, inspiring, creative, different. We get a big mix of things, and something people don't realize is that we keep it fresh every week.
Yeah.
And every week it becomes a challenge, because you feel like you go through the wheelhouse after a few months, and then you go, okay, who haven't we booked?
Yeah.
And then who's in our demographic that can play, and who's in our demographic that can come see this.
Yeah.
And it's a very good catapult for some artists. And then
You're breathing into the mic, Daniel. Hope you know that.
Can you hear that?
Yeah.
it's very bassy, and I thought it was me the whole time, and that's why I
It's
was.
giving me like anxiety.
But
I can't hear myself, so that's why I didn't even know.
It just sounds like we're outside and there's like a subtle breeze every time. It's like,
Just me being a fucking piece of shit.
no.
The wind in the willows.
No. But like
That's what
sometimes
Laura said.
there was one time where like when I first started doing this, because my friend Destiny, she was originally hosting the Thursday nights there called Singer-Songwriter Nights, and then you know, she moved to Georgia, but she asked me before she left, like, hey, would you mind doing this? Because, you know, you've played a couple times in the scene, and that was like around the time that I played the Market on 7th with Freddie. So I had like a little bit of exposure, but I also went to high school with this chick, so I knew her from there. And then she just, you know, she gave me the spot, the position, but, you know, within maybe like 6 months of booking it and doing it and hosting it, there'd be times where I'm like, man, I've hosted this night before. Like, there'd be the same lineup of people come through, and it's just hard to keep everything fresh, especially just like local acts. You know, you want to make sure like everyone gets a turn, everyone gets a chance. Like every time I go to an event, I'm always like, hey, don't forget, I host an open mic night, but it's not really open mic, it's a music showcase. You know, we pay everyone with like a tip jar. There's a tip jar there, so you know, you don't have to pay back the house if whatever tips you make. Every performer gets a free drink and a free meal. You know, and sometimes some of those sandwiches are, like, I think pretty decent price, but there's also 30% off discount the whole night. But if you're a performer, you get it for free. Even if you're in a whole band, everyone in the band gets a free meal and a free drink.
Right. If you have 7 members, you all get a Cuban and a coffee,
Yeah.
and that ends up being we pay you $200 to play.
For real.
Yeah,
Like-
that's and the fucking sandwich was delicious. That I
Thank
had.
you.
Yeah,
It was
that's
good.
Thank you.
They do great with their food and drink. There is awesome. The Buddy Brew coffee, Buddy
Yeah.
Brew is awesome, and
Yeah.
and they make one of the best Cubans in town. There's a
Yeah.
lot of places in Ybor that say home of the Cuban, Cuban capital here, and really I think the Bunkers Cuban is hands down the best one.
It's really good, man. But
Like if you have another Cuban that's up there,
D&D Delights,
yeah,
sorry.
mention D&D Delights.
Yeah, I've
which
grown
I've
up
had, and they
there.
were
I'm
really
sure La
good, too.
Teresita has a really good
Oh, La
Cuban.
Teresita.
Colombia has a good one.
Colombia as well.
I've only had Colombia once, and I need to go again because the experience is very lavish, and there's a guy waiting on you
flamingo
on
dancers.
it's
there's-
expensive too.
Yeah.
It's very expensive for like you want rice and beans and frijoles and some basic.
I just go to
frijoles
my
or
aunt's
beans.
house for that. Thank you.
But
There's
yeah,
a
we just
Cuban
go-
place
we
right there,
holiday.
literally
Oh, yeah?
like walking distance. That place right there, the pizzeria, that's actually a Cuban restaurant.
Oh,
No.
shit.
Yeah, so if we're gonna live next to a fucking Cuban restaurant,
This makes me even more excited to be living here.
I know, right?
Oh, this is good news. Yes, we're going to be, all 4 of us in this podcast are going to be moving in together.
Yeah,
Well, not
I'd only
different
imagine that we'll
appliances, but
probably be
yes.
doing this as well, like more often, just
Yeah.
like kind of like doing
Catch
a
up and-
podcast. yeah.
and stories.
Come on,
Just like, hey, you guys
Naganado.
you want to do the podcast today with us?
Yeah, sure.
That'd
why
be
not?
great, you know. Okay, so going back to the music. Okay, so I actually just thought of a question.
Mm-hmm.
When you're booking out of town gigs or I guess acts or whatever, how does that come into fruition?
A lot of them are unsolicited that we get who tour. Usually we get probably our most common paradigm that we would get on like for a touring group is that it'll be a husband and a wife doing a folk group.
Yeah,
Like
sometimes
doing a
we've
folk
gotten,
duo.
like people that are touring and there are couples that are just like, oh, we bought a van, now we're touring because
This is what we do
This is
now.
what we do now. There was actually one dude who we met, and he said that he sold his house because it was considered like another storage unit for his gear. So he bought himself a van, moved all his stuff, sold some of his equipment, and then just started touring because like
He was just
figured-
always rambling.
yeah, for real. Like, take wherever the streets take me. That's where I'm gonna go, pretty much. But sometimes we get lucky when people just, I just typed in open mic nights in Ybor,
Oh.
so
And they
you
hit you guys
pop
up.
And
Yeah.
we're way high on the list for that, which is
Yeah.
awesome. It's like looking in the phone book and we're AAA construction.
Yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
people get us through that beacon that they either found us through Craigslist or Facebook or
Mm-hmm.
they saw a live feed of one of our friends and like somehow we're
It got
6
shared.
degrees from them.
yeah.
No, it's a great. It's a great spot. Let's just put it that
Yeah.
way. Like
It
it's
just-
in Ybor.
Yeah,
and
I always say
it's a
like
fucking nice place.
I always say like it's a house party that I get to throw and I don't get in trouble for it. You know, it literally feels like you're in someone's house because it feels so homey
Yeah.
and relaxing and just it's just nice and chill.
That's a dope place for sure.
Yeah.
You got lucky with that.
Yeah, for real.
I remember you guys invited us to play, and then I was like, I guess with my box, right?
Yeah,
Like,
the cajon.
no, and then they're like, no, like the whole drum set. I'm like,
Yeah.
how does that work in there? But it worked.
Yeah.
It works.
They have-
and if the drummer is playing the way that they should be playing, it really works.
Especially, yes.
You know what I mean? Like don't get me wrong, you don't go in there and then wail.
Oh my gosh.
But just,
Yes.
you know, like just keeping that beat there, and
Yeah.
it I thought it sounded good. I didn't
Yeah.
even use my drum set, and I thought it sounded good.
I always tell bands, I always tell people, yeah, if you have a large band, bring them. But I want to let you know first, we mic the vocals first. So your band has to know how to play with those vocals mic'd or leveled already. Like, they have to
Yeah.
play
No
according to
monitors,
that.
you mean, right?
Like, we only have the PA and the 2 speakers on top. So people can bring their amps and monitors, but they have to level it out to where you could still hear the vocals.
Yeah. So,
top.
I see what you're saying, like the actual
Yeah.
music behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because we got a really good lesson in doing that playing in Miami, because most of the time, literally almost every venue in Miami has only the 2 speakers for vocals. They have no monitors, no. I think they mic'd the kick, right, at Churchill's.
Yeah, most of the time that's what it was.
Yeah, it was just the kick, and that was it. Like, the guitars were never mic'd, so we had to always play basically how we practiced. I mean,
Yeah.
and that got us really good at fucking being able to control, like, those volumes well. You
Like
know?
having a natural tone with each other.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And it's cool because whenever we fall into that now, which I'll be honest, like, most of the venues we play at, that doesn't happen anymore. Like, most of the time it's mic'd, everything, even if
Yeah.
it's a small venue.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, really? We're going to fucking get mic'd here? Like, this is really small.
It's a hallway, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay.
People in Tampa Bay are really on their A game with music production in general, I think. And I've talked to a lot of people even out of state that they say, man, this is the place to play right now. Like, if there was a, you know, and
Interesting.
that's not a, you know, that's not bona fide, but that's what I hear from the grapevine, is that, like, if you're from Florida State or from Georgia or from the South in general, really one of the big places to play besides Atlanta is Tampa Bay area.
That makes sense, though, actually. Now
Because you
that
don't want to
say
go
that.
as far as Miami, but you don't want to go all the way to New York to get that kind of exposure either. And they're really, like I said, on their A game with their sound, with their live production. I mean, I've been at places where they put a mixer on our synth guy just so he would have his own tone and level, and like we wouldn't get that in our hometown, but we went, you know, to St. Pete, and this, I don't know, I've never had bad sound when I've played in any, even like an unknown bar in Tampa or St. Pete. I usually get, you know, you almost get red carpet treatment with your sound guy, and sometimes that sound guy is working for beer.
Yeah, for sure. Because number one, the thing with Miami is that they're looking for very specific sounds, right? So if you don't already sound like that, then they have no idea what to do with you. Like, all right, so you got like timbal, congas, and you're like, no, we're a rock band, and then they're just like, I don't know what that is.
Oh, you don't
Right.
play salsa.
You either play salsa or EDM or
and they're like, I don't know
dubstep
what to
or
do with that. So a lot
Yeah.
of the time it becomes them improvising, and then at the time when we were younger, it was us improvising too, you know. So it was like that weird kind of thing. So I agree. I think we had like a really tight sound back then where we were like very, very focused on just what are you doing? How can I hear you? It's now become the sound guy, like, you know, is that monitor good enough? What more do you need? When, you know, before it was like, you got to move that amp. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
but I want to be over. I'm like, sorry, I can't hear you. And if I can't hear you, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
I remember when, like, I first met you guys at the parking garage. Like, how are you guys able to enclose yourself in a wall of sound on the top level of a parking garage?
we were just really loud. We were just really loud.
Yeah.
sometimes that's the solution.
It was actually really cool because, like, people would bring up, like, beers up there. We'd chill. People skateboard up there.
That was
people
dope.
People would walk around.
I missed that.
Yeah, be walking around campus, and they just come up to the parking
Yeah.
garage and just be like, "Oh, we just heard you guys play."
That was cool.
Yeah, it was always fun. Those were always good times.
I mean, there was a time where we had like like from our friends, just from our friends,
Yeah.
like 20 people out there.
Yeah, it was like a mini show every
Yeah.
weekend.
It
And
was
it was just
fucking
you guys
cool,
practicing,
man.
and then we'd sometimes have like a jam session.
Yep.
And you guys would take breaks, and then
Yeah.
you go on Liz's drums, and then Kenny would jump on your guitar.
Yeah. It was fun, man.
Yeah.
I miss that shit.
I always
Go ahead. Sorry, Yanni, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I always love when there's a kind of camaraderie around like a band's entourage where like it could be several bands or like even just one band and a big group of friends, but like where there's like punk rock houses and like it's like I've got the band and then my friend over here screen prints and my friend over here does video and my friend over here does this and then eventually we're just this big unit.
That pretty much how it was, yeah.
And it's nice squad goals.
Yeah.
No, that is what happened.
Yeah, because Shay, I remember the first time we did like your t-shirts. Me and Shay, we tie-dyed them, and like she tie-dyed them, and then we drew the thing together, the stencil and puffy paint and all that other stuff. Made merch for you guys.
Yeah, yeah, which I still have those shirts.
I still have my shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love those. No, it was weird. It was like I feel like I feel like I appreciated it then, but then when looking back, like it's like damn, that was a really sweet time. You know, everybody was cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things have changed now with like people breaking up, obviously.
Life has changed.
Life, yeah.
Yes.
But at least Ellie and I are still cool with everybody, you know, except for one person.
Yeah.
But whatever. That shit happens.
Yeah.
I think that that's the same for most people in that group, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the people back then.
I don't got any room in my life for enemies or hate or anything like that. I don't have time to think about those people. That's the way I get to the point. I have this expression that I know I didn't come up with it, but it's from somewhere undefined. And I always tell people, people that mind don't matter and people that matter don't mind. And like, I feel that's how good friends and good acquaintances and really polite people in general act. They don't cause a fuss unless there's a fuss to be made. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. But
don't start no, won't be no.
But I don't have room to really hate on anybody. I feel like I left a scene that like I wasn't really accepted in because I didn't play heavy metal, and then like I came like to St. Pete and like kind of found like I don't know, like the right rhythm and the right niche, and it's just you learn like after a while. And I hate to stress it like, oh, in my day, or like, oh, like like with experience or whatever, but with it you find out that you just don't have time to worry about hating people. It's just real estate in your head, and then you're worried about something you said 10 years ago instead of worried about what you're doing right here and now. And like here and now, like you're in it and you don't even realize it because you're stuck in somewhere you don't belong. And I've been, like I said, all this great timing since I moved to St. Pete, and then started working with RLC and just with this lovely lady, and just but yeah, just it's fun how timing can change from like you have horrible to impeccable timing, and just things seem to balance out and go great, and that doesn't happen every day. But yeah, my bottom line, just I don't have time to hate people or worry about people. And like if I'm worried about myself, and that's and I want to make sure this lady's okay. But besides that, like everyone else has got their own.
Yeah.
And just
and it sucks because it's like you thought it was that simple with it, with that person. Like, honestly, like I didn't think it was gonna be. Not that it was gonna be a big deal, but that when I reached out after it had happened or whatever, that it was going to be okay because I had given you your space. And at the end of the day, I thought we were cool. Like I thought,
right,
I thought
and that's
we were all the
rough.
same. And that's the part that's honestly
to
rough.
that.
Yeah, because it's like obviously we were never on the same page. That's what that means. You know what I mean? If I'm willing to be the one to reach out to you after everything,
And something that sucks about really just about interaction in general, and I think it causes a lot of anxiety, is that like I don't think the average person will ever know everyone's intentions, and like as much as like you would love to, and as much as like everyone would love to know what everyone thinks about them, at the same time, if you knew, it would like change what you do. It would change your role.
It drive you crazy.
It would drive you insane. And just like those are two things that I feel like they keep people up at night, especially these days. And like I think a lot of paradigms have kind of shifted over the past decade or so, where like we want instant gratification with our relationships, with our bands, with our art, with our everything. Like I want to paint something, and as soon as it's done painting, not even the process of it painting, I want 100 likes on it. Or like I want to meet somebody, and you know, like you're gonna meet someone online, and you're like, okay, so I'm gonna meet this person. In a week we'll be dating. In a month we'll be, in a month we'll be serious. In 3 months we'll say we're in love. In 6 months we'll, blah, 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 blah. But like we have all these paradigms of it, and like some things are almost going obsolete or almost becoming a dead language because of maybe the technology we're in, or maybe just like we have a very high state of anxiety, not really emergency, but anxiety, that I feel like the average person, you're like, are you tired? Are you pissed off? Can you not sleep at night? Oh, that just means you know what's going on. Or at least you're
Congratulations,
right.
you're a woke American.
Well, like going off of that, because I actually thought of a question, because I find myself having like a lot of trouble with social media and just doing just getting on Instagram, getting on Twitter, like actually like following up with that stuff. Like for me, it's hard as fuck because I don't don't get me wrong, I enjoy showing, my music and all that stuff to people, but it's like nowadays you have to be a lot more personal and involved in your life for people to enjoy it. I feel like it can't just
It's almost like leaving your diary open for everyone to read, that way they can catch up with you and how you're feeling.
Yeah, and
we're that busy.
How does that
just tell each other?
I'm bad at it. Like I'm equally I feel really really weird doing stuff. Like for example, like even just yesterday I was doing a Facebook Live, and I don't even like that. Like it's so weird for me to do that. I just feel awkward. I don't know. I just don't like that feeling.
It gives a type of agoraphobia that is new and alien to people before social media. Like if you think back, like before there was some prehistoric things like Facebook, like LiveJournal or Go Rate Me or Makeout Club and things like that. And like back then it was kind of kitschy, and it was kind of just like, oh, I can meet these people online if I just leave my instant messenger on like that page. They can just message me and maybe we'll be friends, or maybe we can go visit each other, and maybe it's this scene we don't know about. And now it's on this global level where like bands have tens of thousands of likes and views, and you've never heard of them, and they're from another country, and they're asking you to like their page, and it's going to make that much of a difference, but it's really a drop in the bucket. And there's kind of like pros and cons to those things I've learned. I campaign, I'm not going to lie, I campaign for likes, where like I'll add X amount of people, and I'll suggest my pages to them, and then I'll weed out who are robots, who are just people out there trying to hustle their own thing that maybe I don't like it, or maybe I do, and I'll, keep you or unfollow you or delete you from there. And then like, I find with the algorithm, a lot of people call it playing the algorithm, is that like, it's just kind of a rhythm that you can get caught in, and you'll get this undertow of friend requests that you'll find people that have 200 friends in common, and they're not even from the same town. Mm-hmm. And when you do things like that, like it does, like it kind of inflates your head and gives you this agoraphobia or anxiety that like, oh my God, like I'm kind of like this minor celebrity now. And then at the same time, it kind of can be cool, like on the exposure level, because like for example, you can make a video and somebody from Thailand or Mexico City or
just
Germany
from even
would
outside
like
the
it.
state or whatever. It's still cool.
Yeah,
So-
even from another town near you, and they'll go, "When
Yeah.
are you playing a town by me?" And like you have instant scene that way. Even if you don't have a scene where you're living, you could be doing this all from your bedroom, and like you have a scene online. And that's kind of cool, but it is a double-edged sword where like it can give you that you feel like you're a media, like maybe you're a
like a
media
media
darling,
whore.
or maybe you're a media whore.
Yeah, like it's almost like I guess the reason why I don't like it is because, I mean, I have to do it, so I'm gonna do it, and I think like
It's part of the trade now.
Yes, you have to do it, and I understand that. It's just like I guess I was trying to ask like, how difficult is that for you guys? But yeah, it's a weird thing.
I think the one thing we don't do is I'm sorry, I still don't know what to do with my hands. But no, I think the one thing we don't do is that we don't publicize our relationship.
Yeah, that's
that's
good.
the one-
That's a good thing.
I just post like really cute pictures of
Yeah.
us. I don't like.
That's different though. You're not like posting
Yeah.
like you guys fighting.
No.
Or,
And
like,
we don't put each other
Yeah.
on blast. We never
Yeah.
fight, but if we did,
No.
we wouldn't do it in public, and we wouldn't put each other on blast online.
Honestly, the only thing that we've almost ever fought about was this one time he made spaghetti, and I'm never gonna let him live this down. This one time he made spaghetti, and he was really tired because he works a lot of hours.
And I wasn't paying attention.
He wasn't paying attention. He was making the spaghetti. He made the meat, the sauce, and then the last thing was the noodles. Like puts the boils the water, puts the noodles in, and then goes into the living room where I am. And I go to get up and throw something away into the kitchen, and I look in the pot and I'm like, did he add basil? What are these little flakes in here? Basil? What is it? And I take a spoon and I go look at it, and there's like these little bugs in it. It was really old pasta.
Weevils.
Oh, it was the
Yeah.
You get like boll
little-
weevils in
yeah.
your pasta.
Yeah.
If it's over like
Yes.
4 years old,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah,
eventually
they'll be
get
in
it.
there. Yeah.
So I was like, Yanni, and the way I said it, he was like, oh no, it's bugs.
Something's dead.
Something's or something needs to die.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, I'll just put it through a strainer. And I was like, these little things aren't gonna go through those big ass holes in a strainer, kid.
Nah, it'll be
protein, man.
fine.
What are you talking
Protein.
about?
That's what I
no,
said.
I had to get a chopstick, like a set of chopsticks, and like go through every one of the noodles and just pluck it off.
You're like, fuck this, bro.
No.
I had to
in
thoroughly
Asian
inspect
cultures,
the
they eat
last
that
pasta.
stuff, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Angelina Jolie's kids eat cockroaches
Yikes.
apparently, and they're like gourmet. They're like gourmet cockroaches.
Chocolate covered
You
cockroaches.
know, she can afford filet mignon every day of the week, and they're eating bugs.
It's the best source of
Anyways,
protein, man.
That's the only fight that we've had, but other than that, yeah, we don't post like stupid stuff like, oh, well, Yanni stormed off out of the room to go play guitar.
Or
Guess he's
just
really
like
mad.
subliminal, I'm upset.
Yeah,
message.
Right?
No,
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 gaslighting or
No.
we don't do that in real life.
We
so
talk
we
talk
wouldn't
shit
do it
out,
on
like
social
for real.
media.
We talk stuff out. Like once something happens, once a situation arises, then like we talk about it the moment after. Like I've noticed myself, there are moments because I'm the youngest child in my family. I'm the only girl as well, so I get my mother's head, like my mother's voice in my head that's like, do this a certain way. And she's very like, she's a single mother, so she always raised me to be like, if you want something done, do it yourself, or if you want something done a certain way, do it yourself.
Sounds like this person to
It
my
must
left.
be just Hispanic chicks. I don't
think
fucking
I think it
know.
has a big thing to do with like not having your father in the
Well,
picture, because she didn't really have her dad in the picture.
And it just
either.
Same,
took me a
same.
while to just like trust, like put my trust into him. Like when he helps me out, like when Yanni helps me out with the Red Light Cafe, like it took me a while to be like, all right, this goes here.
It took her a minute to trust me with the
yeah.
levels or trust me with certain types of
just like, putting
equipment.
stuff away, because like I would have everything. Like sometimes my anxiety, if things aren't planned out for me, my anxiety just kicks in.
And I realized it had nothing to do
it
with
has- no.
me. It had to do with just she needed things
Yeah.
like so.
Yes.
And like it was one of those things where like we never really bickered about it or anything. It's her show at the end of the day, and I rather kind of, if I took offense to something she did or anything like that, I'll address it later. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it in front of her audience or in front of her coworkers or anything like that.
Which I respect you. Thank you for doing that.
And we did have one day where I told her, I was like, look, baby, I've been doing this for 2 decades. I know what a PA can do. I know what a bass amp can do. I know yeah, just stuff and things about, like what we're doing. So like I might be a good resource for these things, but like you also just got to trust I'm not going to blow something out or drop something or do something that's, and that happens. And we built a lot of trust all the way to now. We're booking theme shows. In the past 2 months, I've been booking almost completely out of, besides people who come back and reoccur, I've been booking fresh stuff for it. And we've been getting theme shows where we're getting really, an average of 30 people coming in and out of the store.
The show that you guys went to last week was our first Pass the Aux event. And, that was a really good turnout, We just had people come and plug in their phones into the PA and play, 1 or 3 songs, a 10-minute max. And then we just found out, a lot of different genres that people were listening to. And, we encouraged, people who write music, if they have, a SoundCloud or a Bandcamp, to play their music first. Because it takes a lot of hard work to put all that stuff together and to promote it. So that's why I played one of your guys' songs last. You're welcome.
Always. We were talking about it, and we were just like, if these people are performers or have friends of performers, plug your shit.
Yeah.
Plug your shit. This is a live venue where strangers can hear it,
It's all about community.
That's what it's all about at the end of the day.
That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's really why we're doing this podcast, is I want to build a community with, ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You guys are doing the bunker, which I think is it's a better idea in my opinion, because it's physical, but this is kind of my way of being an anti-social person. You know what I'm saying?
But you can reach out in your own way, and this definitely it plays on a format where you can find people across countries that would listen to this, and they'll go, wow, these are average people hustling the same way we are across a country, doing something similar but not the same, with friends who are similar. Not the same.
And that would be ideal, honestly, because that's the idea.
Is to have a network.
We got really excited because we were gonna have a band from Miami come and play. I'm sorry, come on the podcast. They were coming to Tampa to play.
Yeah.
So we went to the show, and then things happened, family and stuff. They have family up here, so they were they got caught up with them and things like that, so they ended up not being on there. But that's the idea, things like that happening would be really exciting. Something that simple, a band that's not from Tampa, coming up here, us being able to
record them,
interview them, and then put it out there, just for people to hear, because he's the one that's gotten me into podcasts, and really what it is just interesting to sit there and listen to a person's perspective. And when it comes to music, I think the biggest thing is that listening to people, or hearing at least about people that aren't from your state even.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? That's to me so ideal, because it puts into perspective things. I'm from here. This is what we do. This is. And then, this is why they sound that way, And
it ignites dialogue, but where there wouldn't have been before.
Because there was no other way of reaching that person unless you went out there. And honestly, that would be awesome. That's, I think, the main, the main idea is to just get as many people on here, different people. There's got to be a way of doing this more portable. I think that would be, that would help.
You could hook this. There are apps that nowadays that you can. They're like little mini band camps that you can open them up, and they'll record one solid track. And I don't know what the run times are. You could always shorten the run times and then compile
or just do
them.
Multiple, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My
maybe
phone
do little 10-minute ones.
recorder is actually really good that I could just record on my phone.
Yeah.
I listened to this drum podcast. It's called the Drumheads podcast, and it's all drums. It's so good because he's serious. He's and we're talking about snares today, and I'm like, yes, tell me about snares, please.
Hi, kids.
And then
Today,
and then he goes into
about
weird little things that you can clip onto your snare to make it sound. He goes into all that, so it's great.
That's awesome.
But his first podcast was literally off of his phone, like you guys are saying. So I thought that was really funny, and I was like, could do that. You could. It didn't sound
Why not?
great, but it didn't sound awful. You
Right,
hear,
people
He's like,
listened.
you know what? He started the podcast by recording something and then playing the rest of the audio. And he's like, look, I got this opportunity to record this specific person, so I did it.
And that probably led to him doing it in a better studio format.
And just gaining the people, the momentum, you know what I mean? But going back to what we were saying, like, you know, having that kind of mentality where you're like, if you want it done a certain way, you do it yourself, kind of thing. With him, the main thing with him is that I noticed that what I do is that I ask him to do something, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Can you do this? And then he goes and he does it, and then he didn't do it a certain way.
Yeah.
And then I have to catch myself, like, I didn't tell him to do that.
Yeah. Like, if I gave him, like, specific instructions
And he didn't do it, then maybe I can get annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's still a maybe. But most of the time it's that. Me saying, do this, and then, like, I read this thing. It's like, you can't get upset at someone when you ask them to do something, and then having them do it a specific way. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, you ask the person to do something, they did it out of the kindness of their heart.
Yes.
And then you're going to get upset at them because they didn't do it a specific way. It's a lot. So I've been able to catch myself with that, I think, okay, and stuff like that. But, you know, elaborate on what you meant besides that, I guess. Like what you were saying.
About what, the social media thing?
No, where you were saying that, like, that what she was explaining was like me. It is backtracking a lot, but... Like, you're like, you know, what she was saying.
Well, like, how my mom's voice is always in my head, just like, do this a certain way.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it makes sense because if you were raised without a father, your mom would want to instill that in you, you know, to be a stronger woman.
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
because,
she's
I mean,
a strong lady herself.
It's kind of like you're trying to prepare your daughter, or, you know, I don't know if that happens to men. I'm sure it does happen to men as well, like, you know, single moms.
Maybe a dad raising, like, a son on his own.
No, I meant like a mom raising a son on her own. I'm sure it's the same thing. Like, she tries to instill a sense of, you know, independence. That way, if, you know, if shit goes down, like, she could, you know, she could be an independent person. But yeah, that's all I was saying. It just makes sense because with me, that's not necessarily like the way I was raised was, you know, mainly be nice to people and stuff like that.
I always live by the golden rule, you know?
What's that?
Like, do unto others as you would do unto yourself.
Yeah. I hope my dad never listens to... Eventually, we'll get to that subject, but I hope he never listens to these things, because one day that podcast will happen. And
oh, dude, I'll be right there with you to talk about it.
And it's like, yeah.
It's weird because I feel like I should have those kind of feelings, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I don't.
What do you mean? You're saying it like towards your father?
Yeah, because he was never there either, and I think that what's made it easier for myself is just knowing my mother.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's rough.
I feel like
honestly, like, my dealing with my mother is rough. So
yes.
I can understand where what he did happen, but it's still shitty the way that because you could have gone about it
a different way. Yeah.
Much better way.
I was like in 5th grade when my parents separated, but I felt like, I don't know, I've never really felt that close to my parents for some reason. I thought it was weird to have a really close connection to parents, especially like my mom. I don't know. Now growing up and becoming growing into myself as becoming a woman and stuff, I notice that I am more like her each and every day. Like, I know I look like her, and that's really scary because when I'm like 50 or something and look in the mirror, I'll see her face. Mm-hmm. It'll be really creepy and sad at the same time.
Hopefully she never listens to this.
Oh yeah, dude, I love you, mom, if you do.
I mean it like that.
Te amo mucho. But I don't know, like her raising me. Yeah, her raising me has it made me just more self-aware. Like, hey, you need to be sure that you're comfortable with yourself before you let anyone else, you know, boss you around or do anything else. You know, and I've always accepted the fact, like, if you don't love yourself first, you're never gonna love anyone else. Because, like, how are they going to learn how to love you if you don't know how?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't get as mad when I ask him to do stuff. I think it's like the timing. Because my mom was
him?
Yanni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big thing with
Yeah.
Daniel.
It's just
I
timing.
feel like he moves at a completely different rate sometimes than I am.
Yes.
Like in my head, I'm like just going
Rápido.
and he doesn't
Yeah.
capture that,
Yeah.
and it's
Yanni's slow. Like he's like slow paced too, right?
he's slow.
He's not slow.
He's slow paced, right?
No, he's just relaxed.
Okay, so he's like me then.
Yes.
No,
That's what I mean by that.
Because the thing is that I've seen Daniel with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I've seen that, so I
Yes.
know that it's
capable of doing it.
it's a very capable
Yes.
thing. But this right now is
Yeah.
not capturing in your
Yes.
brain like that, and that's the difference.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I've actually, it's a good thing because I've learned to like get that. Like, no,
Yeah.
this isn't
Yeah.
that urgent.
It's
Yes.
not a big deal, man.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what
And
it.
that's
It's
what
not a
always
big-
we say at the end. It's not
Yeah,
a big
it's
deal.
not a big deal. You know,
so
it's like
it is what it like.
Yes.
You're moving at 100,000
Oh, yeah.
mile.
That's
for
just
no
the
reason.
anxiety talking, trust
Yeah.
me.
that is
Always.
what it is. Yeah.
It's
It's
always-
exactly what it is.
It's like, can you move these 2 cups? Why are the cups picked up? You just asked me. I know. Why aren't you pick them up, please? Like, no, please.
Exactly.
I just said it so the words
Yeah.
went through your ears and to your brain to pick them up.
I
Like, when
could see
first-
you doing that
I
too.
like when I first started living with Daniel. I was like, "This is gonna be rough. This is gonna be rough." Like,
Why is it going to be rough, Elizabeth?
because, I mean, we're different. everyone that like like your fan. I was just talking to someone, Cheech. He was like, you guys are like really, really different fundamentally, and we are. Like I feel like Daniel and I are like. There's certain things we talk about and we express them in a very different way,
Yeah.
but they're like very important things that me and him are completely on the same page about. So that's what makes it work. And so when I first started living with him, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be rough because he's always been like that. Like, I blame it on his Puerto Rican ishness.
Hey,
It's the island thing. It's an island
listen,
thing.
we have island time, and island time is when I land. That's when I get there. All right,
Yeah.
that's hence
Everything
the island.
is like way like chill,
yeah,
man.
it's siesta all the time.
I am not like that at all. At all, right? So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I noticed that. How are you going to make this work, right? So one of the funny things that I made in my brain, I'm like, okay, when he comes in from work and makes a complete mess of the apartment, there is no need to say or do anything until we go to bed, right? Like when we're wrapping up the day,
Yeah.
that's when I need all of the shit picked up,
Deal.
right?
Yeah.
Ooh. There are plenty of times where it did not happen, and it's just like, okay, so just here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Three,
I had a long chat with him
2,
before we
1.
moved. Yeah, I had a long chat with him before we moved in together, hoping that would work. But yeah, like it's like things like that. Like you need to learn how to pace yourself.
Yes.
And those are the things that I like. I feel like he's helped me with a lot.
Like
Yeah.
pick your battles.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Like picking your battles and setting it up like that. Like,
Yes.
look, we're ending the day now.
Yeah.
Everything is a shit show still.
Yes.
So can we do something about
Yes,
it? You
that
know
is
what I mean?
me. With every time he comes home from work, the uniform's always on the floor, and I'm just like, Yanni, there's hangers. I'll pick up your shirt and put it on the hanger, but next time, can you do that? Never
that sounds
happens.
exactly like me.
Never happens.
She's like, "Why did you throw your fucking underwear on top of the table?" I'm like,
We eat there, Daniel.
I don't know.
God.
Really bad example.
I'm pretty sure
No.
that's happened,
No,
but
that's never happened, man. What are you
I'm
talking
glad when we
about?
move in here, we're
But the
not getting your
shitting with the
fucking
door
table.
open is legit.
yeah.
No, we're not taking your fucking table. Dude. We're gonna burn this bitch.
No, yeah.
But I pick my battles, yes, because I know that the more folding I do and picking up stuff, the more calories I'm burning. Okay.
What?
His face was like,
When did Yanni ever say he didn't like his girls thick?
Aw, true.
what?
When did Loki
was
ever say that
great.
she likes the room dirty?
Oh, I know when Loki said she liked the room dirty, and we're not going to go
Never.
there. This is a PG-13
Oh my god,
podcast.
we're not talking about.
Yikes.
There were times.
There were times.
That's funny.
Next question.
That's
What's your average run time usually?
really. I mean, our longest one was I think 2.5 hours, right? Yeah, 2.5 hours.
Just curious if there was a determined time, or you just
No.
go till you feel it's
Basically, till we feel like there's nothing more to talk about, you know.
true.
Well, sun's down. I'm not wearing a watch, and we're gonna go.
Yeah, if you have to go, then
No, we don't have to.
okay. Okay. So here I have an interesting question. So, what are your influences in music? Each of you.
My mom.
Thanks, mom.
What are your musical?
You want me to do mine first, or
Yes, and then 20 minutes later, I'll talk about
Yeah,
mine.
yeah. You have plenty of time to write yours down. This is my 3-part explanation.
Three-part confession. Here it goes.
No, but I mean musically I like a lot of it's funny because I really don't sound it, but I like a lot of punk and stuff that can be derived or interpreted as punk rock or punk music. That's not always that there's mohawks and that there's spiky hair and leather jackets, but usually it's that people have the ability or talent or charisma to play. That doesn't mean they have a music theory degree. It doesn't mean they have the best equipment. It doesn't mean they have the best recording abilities. But they still do it, and that it has a very DIY and punk rock quality to it of workmanship, and that's usually a lot of things that I like fit into that. I don't know if I consider myself a punk musician or not. That's not really for me to interpret. Like we talked about before, you know, if you knew what everyone thought about you, would you change what you do? And
I would.
Yeah, probably.
I would.
Probably.
I would.
And that's the kicker, and that's why you must never know. But because of that, I mean, I don't like to define what I do, but I'm sure, I mean, I fit into a pigeonhole just like anybody does, because there's nothing new under the sun, just how you package it or how you twist it or combine it. And I would consider myself a punk musician, and I like a lot of the stuff from the DC hardcore scene. And then I love, you know, your favorite indie rock like Radiohead or Modest Mouse or the Shins. And I'm a huge Pixies fan. I love Bowie and Prince, and I like a lot of different, I mean, from Motown to soul to whatever inspires me daily. But yeah, the easy nutshell is that, like, I like something that has a DIY or a punk rock quality to it.
Yeah, that's the right answer. You are correct.
Yes.
Oh shit! I guess I'm gonna have the wrong answer.
Yeah, Kid Loki.
Fuck. I don't know. It's weird. My mom raised me on a lot of old school stuff, like soul, disco. Like when I was like in 5th grade, I had my first disco CD, and I played the shit out of that, and it was awesome.
Which one do you remember?
It was like now that's what I call disco type thing. But the first song was "Play That Funky Music, White Boy," and that was a good one. But I had this great. I bought my mom an Earth, Wind and Fire CD when I was like in 6th grade, and she played the shit out of that as well. But I took it to school with me one day and I lost it, and she was pissed because she loved that CD. And then I'm 25 years old, and like no lie, 2 years ago I was in Walmart and I looked down. And because there it was, bro, for like $10, and then I take it home. I was gonna like wrap it up and everything and like present it to her as a gift. I was like, "Yo, open this." She's like, "You bought it for me?" And I was like, "Yes, you're welcome. Payback is done." But
I did that with my mom and a Tapestry record by Carole King.
Oh heck yeah!
Because something similar happened where the tape I think got ruined, and then I found a record of it when I was 19, and
Nice.
I gave it to her with a little Post-it that said "for you," and
Aw.
here you go, love Yanni, and
You guys are so nice.
But
we have nice moms, so we try to be nice to
we
them.
love our moms.
My mom should never listen to this podcast. She'd be like, wow, you never fucking do anything like that for me.
Love you, mom.
Yes. But yeah, she raised me on that. She got me into the Beatles. But it was weird. Every boy that I had a crush on, I developed their music taste. Like, I enveloped their music taste.
Yeah.
So
She's the rogue of music taste.
Yes.
She just
So now
touches
you
people
really
and gets
like
their
Radiohead.
music.
I like, yeah, not because of you though.
No, I know
Because of me.
Yes. Oh wait. Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa!
I never liked you, Daniel.
What the fuck just happened?
What
the
Chuck,
dick?
Chuck, anyways.
And away we
I
go.
would have never in my life listened to Radiohead.
Really?
I
Until-
started-
yeah.
Absolutely.
True.
Creep was it. And then I was like, that's shit. I don't need to listen to that band.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
True.
I didn't know.
You didn't know the subtle truths.
Yeah. And then like everything else, I just found out on my own. Like I loved the Gorillaz. Demon Days was like the first album that I was
Great
like, yes,
record.
that is the shit I want to make when I get older. Is
Yeah,
That.
you've sent me some stuff that I've listened to and I've dug pretty well. I can't
like your
remember
vaporwave craze that you're going on
the
now.
vaporwave. Well, the thing is, I've been technically I've been
Feel
listening
like
to
a
that for
brand
a
new
long time now.
person.
you
The
know?
Tame Impala.
I just never knew what to call it. Like I've been listening to Tame. Like I don't want to sound like a
Since it was
fucking
new
hipster.
wave.
I don't want to sound like a hipster, but I was
late.
I like
With your
I
nice
found
white
out
clean
about them
chucks
when I was
on.
in high school.
I've been drinking warm Paps before it was cool.
It's true though, man. Like I found the story behind me listening to them was me and Kenny and I went to a jazz performance in Miami and Bayside, which is kind of like where the Miami Heat play. It's like really
Yeah,
close
it's
to
where
there.
Zach Morris and Lisa Turtle, they all go to school. Like Kelly Kapowski, they go to Bayside High.
Saved
What
by
the
the
fuck
Bell.
are you talking about?
Say by the bell, you know.
Oh,
when I wake
really?
up in the morning.
Is
and
that
I
in Miami?
really-
Is that in Miami?
No, it's in Bayside.
Oh,
Bayside.
okay,
It's a made up town in
Gotcha.
Bow,
Beverly Hills or
bow.
something. Bo.
Excuse me. But yeah, there was a band playing and they were playing jazz, and Kenny and I were sitting there watching them. They finished playing. They were an Australian jazz band. They weren't even from the United States. They were literally just like a jazz band from Australia.
Wow.
I guess touring or whatever. It was really cool. We went up and talked to the guitar player, and we're just like, "Oh man, you're so fucking, you're dope. Like you're really good or whatever." And he just was like, "Have you?" I'm gonna attempt an Australian accent.
Do it.
No, I'm not gonna. Have you? Have you ever listened?
That's
Have you
more
ever
New
listened to
Zealand, I
Tame
think.
Impala? And I was like, I couldn't understand what he was saying, and he just kept saying like Tame Impala.
And he just
And
smiled and gave you a
Tim
Vegemite
Impala.
sandwich.
He just literally gave me an earpiece from his headphones, and played Half Full Glass of Wine, which is from their EP, and that was all they had released at the time. Their first album hadn't even came out yet, and I thought it was John Lennon singing because he kind of sounds like John Lennon.
for sure.
Yeah. And he's like, nope, that's not him at all. This is this guy from this band. And then I just like fell in love with them, and I was like getting drunk in high school. I would
like
get,
you do.
I would get-
Like you
Love you,
do.
Lila.
I would get shit faced at school and like listen to Tame Impala in the bathroom and shit. Yeah, it was
Good
fun.
times.
And then ever since then I've just been watching them, and it's fucking, or listening to them, watching their careers get better and better. So it's cool. That's the only band I can say that with though. Because
it's cool to see a band. I mean, I know I'm the elder of the group here tonight. I'm the, but yeah, grandpa indie rocker over here. But
I gotta think for grandpas, guys.
I'm a G Dilf. I'm a G Dilf granddad.
He's
yeah.
a gilf.
Yeah. So anyway, it's cool. What I was saying is with that time that you and experience that you get, it's cool to see a band go from the fetal stages of we just went on our first tour, we're playing this shitty club, and there's 4 of you watching us, to we're on the radio and we're playing a huge amphitheater, opening up for someone who's been on the radio for a decade.
Right.
And like that's an amazing feeling, and like you
Yeah.
feel like you made it a little with them. Like we were saying before, I did the whole Modest Mouse name drop, and like I've been listening to Modest Mouse since the late '90s.
I can't say that I have, which sucks because I wish I could say that.
But whenever you came into it, you're in it, and that's
it was
what's
early
cool.
2000s at least.
Sure.
It was early 2000s at least.
Like Good News for People Who Loves Bad News,
Yes.
or like Moon and Antarctica, which were later but great records.
So good.
And it was you felt like tiny victories when like Modest Mouse or a punk rock band you like AFI or someone like that like got to radio or video, awesome video status, and then you're like, yeah, we kind of made it a little because like I was a fan of them.
Yeah, and I only say that because I'm like that. I'm hard-headed like that. Like I want to be like part of something from the beginning in order to be part of it. You know what I mean? But oh my God. You got me started on Modest Mouse. You shouldn't have done that.
Okay, we'll change the subject.
That's got to be, honestly, that's one of my favorite bands.
I didn't like them at first.
Our two bands that we have, bands and albums that we have in the most common, like that it's like right in the middle of the Venn diagram for us, is Modest Mouse's Building Nothing Out of Something,
right. That's a good
and
album.
the Pixies' Doolittle.
Oh my God,
are
that's
like
so good.
Such a good album.
Like if we were on a desert island, we'd each bring one, and that would count as our one.
Exactly.
Wait, well, which one would you bring between the two?
I would probably bring Pixies' Doolittle.
Yes!
But
there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no. There's
No.
Modest Mouse's
It
Building
completes
Nothing
it.
Out of
It
Something
completes
is
it.
one of my favorite
It
records.
completes it.
Exactly.
Honestly, like oh my
and
God.
one kind of finishes the other sentence. Like one kind of does what the other didn't, and they're both in the same wheelhouse of great music.
I've never been into lyrics. From when I was like really young, it was always like how it sounded.
More the tone and melody than
because I was really into punk too. So what I wanted was a very specific sound when it came to like music. But when I started listening to Modest Mouse, that guy, honestly,
he has a way with words,
Jesus,
and that man has read some damn books.
and the thing is that like the way that they mix it, the way that they present it, you're hearing the vocals. Like there is no way around that. Like you're like, I am listening to these words right now, and these words are saying some shit.
Some of his vocals are like a punch in the face. Like it's not metal brutal in any way. I'm sure most people by now have heard most Modest Mouse or an example of, and it's very twangy. It's very folky. It has very alt, folk and country and blues undertones and stuff, but at the end of the day it's very dark alternative.
It really is.
And like bands like Brand New have been very influenced by them, where like they started off as a jaunty emo band and now they're sad and angry, and their overtures are longer. They have movements to their songs.
One of my favorite memories so far of our relationship is there was one time when I had to get ready for work and he had just gotten off of work. I think it was like a Saturday or Sunday. And we played Baby Blue Sedan, and that's like our song that we love. Yeah, we like to listen to Baby Blue Sedan, and like we slow dance to it in the bedroom, and it was really sweet.
Are so cute.
It was really
that's
cute.
That's such a funny song to do that to.
I learned it on the piano the other day and
Really?
sent it to her online, and it was just one of those kind of fun things. Like one of our common, like I'm walking around the house looking for things to entertain her with while we're on video chat or on the phone, is like I'll jump on the piano and I'll just make up a cover of something. Like I'll just get real close to the key and I'll be like, just a small town girl. Or whatever the context is, or whatever song it may be. And the other day it was Baby Blue Sedan. I just found dee doo doo dee doo doo, and kind of waltzed it out. And
it was sweet, really sweet.
Oh, what can I say? I'm just a sweetie sometimes.
Whoa. I'm sorry for all the viewers or listeners who are like vomiting of how cute we are. We know it. I'm sorry.
But we promise it's adorable in person.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anybody's thinking that.
No, I don't think so. I don't mean to.
Until now.
Yeah, now.
Till this moment.
Nationwide vomiting. Just like, yeah. We don't have to go.
I think we have a really good thing going on.
You complete me.
I love you.
So it sucks so hard if like anytime you like showed affection for the other person, you just throw up.
like Stan from South Park. Like just like every time he sees Wendy, hey Stan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, that's true.
We'd find a way around it.
I just carry a paper bag that I could vomit every time I see
Airsick
you.
bag. Yeah, just
so
like I
funny.
love
you.
South Park does that. That's funny. I didn't even think of that. And I was like,
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
Aw. But yeah.
Honestly, so my only point is that Modest Mouse really made me listen to lyrics, which was an interesting way of listening to music for me because instrumentally they're good. His voice is terrible. I'm sorry, Brock. If someone was like,
It's the lyrics and the delivery
exactly.
of.
If I were to like listen to this song, person who's never listened to Modest Mouse before, and then they come up and they're like, "This is the worst shit I've ever heard in my life. Why did you make me listen to this?"
Yeah.
I would be like, "Okay, no, I understand. I get that.
You
I
can
understand
appreciate
that."
the criticism.
Did you listen to the lyrics though? Just by any chance, did you like really focus on what he was saying? And then, of course, the answer is no. I didn't understand him at all. He sounded like a crazy person, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, but listen
all
to the
right.
words, man.
Yeah, I was
The
like, but you
words.
should really listen to them.
Yeah.
I used to end philosophical arguments like at
Modest
school
Mouse.
with Modest Mouse lyrics. Like I'd have some guy be like, "So what is the point of the universe if blah blah and blah?" You know, like
The
you
universe
can
is
argue Nietzsche and argue whoever, and then I just said the universe is. What the universe is shaped exactly like the Earth. If you go straight long enough, you end up where you were. And he goes, "What? That was so profound." Head explodey. And I was like, "They're Modest Mouse lyrics."
He's
Go fuck
also
yourself.
burned someone by using Modest Mouse lyrics.
Oh, can I tell? Can I tell the
Yes.
story?
No,
Okay,
this is fine.
so we're in my hometown of Newport Richey, and Newport Richey is not a very hip town. Like it's like you went back to 1985 and everybody listens to Warrant and still wears LA gears and has
A lot of
mullets.
jorts.
Lots of jorts and jeggings, and like everyone shops at Walmart, and if they shop at Target, they're like, "Ooh."
Really bougie.
Yeah, real bougie about it. And anyway, so we're at this restaurant. It's just like a little morning diner thing, closes at 3 p.m. kind of thing, and we have this hipster waiter in a town where there's no hipsters. So like he should have been thrilled to see us and like be like, "Oh my God, I want to talk about all this music. You guys seem so cool, blah 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 blah." And then so he gets to the table and he's very aware that we're a couple, and he goes, "Oh, I like your tattoos," or "I like your septum piercing," to Laura, and was just like very intrigued by Laura the whole time. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, "You done, bro? You done? Can I order my fucking pancakes now?" Like, and then like I minded, but I'm
I
too
could
polite.
sense that he was
I'm
mad.
too polite to say I'm pissed, but like I'm a little pissed, and like I'm a little not jealous, but I'm a little jilted that a dude is hitting on my girl in front of me.
Yeah.
And so I go out and have a cigarette, and I come back, and he doesn't try to make any effort to talk to me the whole time we're sitting there. And I'm saying thank you. I'm not asking for stuff, but I'm saying I appreciate what he's doing. I'm being a good customer. And so we get up at the end of we're going to pay. And he goes, "Oh, I didn't see you were wearing a Modest Mouse shirt." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I've been listening to them since I don't even know." And I was like, "Since you were a wee lad?" I was like, "Since you had teeth like God's shoe shine?" And he was just like,
He didn't get it.
he didn't get it.
He didn't get it.
And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I just like said it on the way out, and then I just grabbed her and walked out, and I gave him a $3 tip. And I was just like, if he didn't feel like the tension in my face, like he just didn't get it.
And then later on, Yanni was like, "Oh, I should have been like, oh, of course you didn't realize I was wearing a Modest Mouse shirt. Too busy staring at my fucking girlfriend, asshole." Like,
Yeah, basically, like, and there's no, like, the thing is like, at the end of the day, I take it as a compliment. I'm with a beautiful woman, and like, if someone can appreciate that, it's because it's a timeless thing. Yeah. It's always going to be true that she is a beautiful woman.
wow.
So
get yourself a Yanni, ladies. Yes.
Only 4 installments of 1995, and you can get your own Yannicon.
Yes.
But no, the thing is that you got to take it as a compliment, fellas. Like if you got a lady and someone covets her or envies you being with her, then like that is because you are with a choice lady. And same thing for fellas, it goes the other way around.
Fellas,
there's
fellas.
no, yeah, and there's
Come
no,
on, girls,
and
yes,
like
yes.
there's I read and watched some things recently talking about monogamy and jealousy and why they happen and why psychologically it triggers you when like say like if like I'm walking in a bar and someone goes, "Hey Laura, nice blank," and then like I was just like, why does that threaten
Nice
my
blank.
ego? Like why
Thanks,
does
my
that?
blanks are very nice.
Yes, she's got the blankiest blanks in town. But
Yeah,
I'm saying like why does that threaten my ego?
I know. I think I know the answer to it.
Right.
It's not. I mean, I think the main thing is that because you don't trust them to the point where you're like, oh, they could possibly cheat on me with this person.
But it's also,
You know?
but you would think of that because of your own inadequacies.
Yeah, it's insecure.
It's your own
insecurities,
ego
yeah.
that's on the plate,
For
and
sure.
that's why people get a little spurned when things like that happen. And I'm not gonna lie, it happens to me. I mean, not every day, but like I do have moments where I'll get jealous or I'll get kind of like a twinge when someone might rub me the wrong way, and I'll be like, man, are they disrespecting me? Are they disrespecting my girl? Are they a threat to me? And like maybe they're not, but in my head, sure they are for at least 5 seconds while I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And like but at the end of the day, it's a testament to my own ego. And like if mine is fine and my slate's clean and I'm not worried what she's doing and I'm not worried that I'm going to do anything out of the ordinary, then we should be secure with that.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it's not an easy thing, and like there is still, you have to check your heads every once in a while and go, maybe I'm out of line.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm overthinking this.
I don't get as jealous. I'm mostly just surprised that I'm with him because, like, yes, he compliments me and how pretty I am all the time, but somehow in the back of my head, I'm just like, what did I do? Who did I kill in an alternate life that I get to deserve this? Because it's really awesome. He's, like, some people, like, he said to me one time, he's like, we're not just, like, 2 50-cent pieces that make $1. We don't make 2 halves that make a whole. Like, we're 2 wholes. We're twice value.
Yeah.
Right.
You
We
know?
conduct energy a different way than
Yeah.
most paradigms do, because a lot of times you're 4 quarters that make $1, or 2 50-cent pieces that make $1, or 10 dimes that make $1, instead of we're $2. And like I mean that in the sense, same thing, like any fraction, something that is a whole is going to be the most singular. It's going to be the most consistent. But we have 2 wholes that work,
In tandem.
WHOLES, and like it makes a circuit, because like I always tell her, and especially when people compliment her on her performance, to me, I'll say, I'm always inspired, intimidated, and like impressed all at the same time, and like that encourages me just to be better. And like I do little silly things that like maybe they're not so silly on the broad scale, but like a good example is like since we dated, I probably smoke a third of the amount of cigarettes I used to a day.
Yes,
because
he's
I
done
want
a really good job.
because I want to be able to harmonize with her.
Yeah.
I don't want to be Tom Waits singing with Lana Del Rey. I want to be able to match that. I don't want to be the gruff. I don't want to be the Cookie Monster with a beautiful singer, like to make it humorous or ironic that we're singing together. I want it to be that we sound good together.
Yeah.
And we do, but it's only because I'm taking steps to do so.
Yes.
And you were asking before about influences, and something that we do together that has been kind of coalescing into something is Dinosaur Gold, which is a project that we just kind of made. It was like kind of an inside joke of an inside joke of an inside joke
Yeah.
of a band. And I think in the end for that, and we've talked about influences from the Gorillaz to like DC hardcore and punk and different things like that.
Even to like electronica and Depeche Mode and stuff.
Yeah, like I love The Cure and Depeche Mode and New Order, and those are always like big things in my listening catalog. Even when I'm changing genres or listening to something new, I always listen to the old new wave and post punk. And
you like a lot of the same music, man.
I think
you really do.
I think so, because we were talking the other day.
It's gonna be awesome because we'll just be hanging out.
Because like literally all that stuff, like you just said, I'm like, yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, and I think we jive on a lot of the same ideas. Like I think it's funny because like doing offbeat, like down tempo, lo-fi, you know, broken up jazzy hip hop beats to like alternative music. I was doing that 15 years ago by myself with a drum machine and a guitar and an effects pedal, and like there was no scene. Like I was just living I was a one-man scene at the time. Yeah. And like besides me, there were just metal bands that they were trying to make it onto Warner Brother Records, or they were trying to make it onto Interscope. Yeah. And I didn't even consider that wasn't even what I was doing. Like I was from the 90s metalcore scene. I lived in Newport Richie. I wanted to make indie rock and avant-garde and alternative music and stuff like that. And like the kind of how we were talking about RLC and the bunker being a headquarters. Back then, the only place was Denny's in my apartment. Like, I don't know if y'all ever heard stories talking through mutual friends about our Denny's days, but that was like literally the scene before the scene kind of thing.
No, I never heard of that.
And we were all kids drinking coffee at 3 a.m, smoking cigarettes in a Denny's diner because there was nothing else to do in the town. There was no venue. There was no coffee house. There was no all-night bar or laser tag or some bullshit you can go do, you know, after 11. Like, after movies were closed, you had nothing to do besides Denny's, cigarettes, coffee, friends.
Were you not, like, you weren't smoking weed or anything?
We smoked weed, sure, and we...
Blaze it
up, you know. But you got to be very careful because a lot of police go to Denny's, so you have to make sure that you're covered and you're doing it in a responsible way. I mean, now in Newport Richie, weed's completely decriminalized because they have such a pill epidemic there that they rather you smoke weed legally.
The opiate addiction.
Yeah, there's a huge like oxys and roxys, etc. And then like a lot of people do spice there. And like they have such problems with it that they've completely legalized weed there.
That's good.
Like it's like you can walk down Graham Boulevard towards Sims Park smoking a blunt in front of a cop, and the worst they'll do is stop you.
And be like, hey, put that shit out.
Put that shit out, or don't make me give you a ticket, or whatever. And a lot of times they won't even stop you.
That's cool.
And certain places have been almost like kind of like de facto designated areas where you can kind of smoke and not be bothered, but not be at your home either.
Like designated smoking spaces.
Right, and those are in some of the local bars, which I don't want to name drop, but like you can go to back doors of some of these places or to back porches or bonfires, and you're not bothered, and it's, you know, autonomous, and people come out and they divvy out their own bags, and like y'all basically have a big salad circle.
That's cool, because allegedly. Hopefully, I doubt anyone from my company would work or like listen to this, but like, yeah, like we've smoked outside of Skippers, like right in front of Skippers multiple times.
Sure.
The Benz,
like
like my.
I was like, no name dropping, and then he just drops 2 names.
Yeah, whatever. It's not their. They didn't know. So yeah, they didn't fucking know we were doing it. It's not like it's their problem.
Right. The way I kind of operate, because I'm somebody that like on a social level and on a personal level, like it's a lot easier for me to function with the gears being lubricated by THC. It helps my anxiety like socially, and it helps me kind of be able to be a little more succinct, but also to kind of ramble and get kind of little
Loose.
truthier than I would.
Yeah.
It's
And,
like
like,
your
I'd rather
alcohol,
be-
basically, right?
It works as my alcohol, but I don't usually get clumsy. Where alcohol would usually
Yeah,
make
yeah,
me
yeah,
clumsy.
for sure.
I meant more
Um,
for like the confidence builder, like the.
It's
it
it's
takes
my
away the
equivalent.
anxiety.
It's my liquid courage and that equivalent.
Liquid courage, exactly.
It's in that equivalent, yes. Where like I like when I go somewhere new, I want and like I don't mean it that like that I'm such a stoner or something like that. But when I go somewhere new, I would like to smoke before and after I go to that place because like I need to get a vibe of how I feel there. We were talking the other day about social anxiety and that like a lot of people endure it. And a lot of people get this almost agoraphobia from, and we've mentioned that word's come up a couple times, but like from like being in a scene where like I used to, travel the mosh pit and crowd surf, and like I used to be up on stage with bands that didn't invite me up there, and I'd be singing songs and like. I'd do anything for an autograph back then. I would hang out behind a venue for an hour just to see like another, a touring member, come out of the back. Yeah. From there to like I was a doorman at a record store for a few years in my teen years, and like I was doing the door at like Converge. Or like Majority Rule or Page 99 or
those clubs?
These were all Boston and DC hardcore bands in the 90s. They were all metalcore bands that they've been kind of obscured over the years, but now they're starting to get royalties because of things like Spotify, YouTube, and they're starting to re-release records. But they were really, on like in the reality of it, because metalcore and emo didn't quite hit the radio yet. In the late 90s, so if you were in these bands, like you didn't know about them unless you were at that venue. You missed it. Yeah. They missed the wave, but if you weren't there, you missed it because then there was second wave and third wave metalcore, and same thing with emo.
For sure, I get it.
And
exactly
but like these were the pioneers in the scene, and like a lot of them got forgotten over a decade because.
I feel like that's what the Pixies are, honestly.
The Pixies got forgotten so hard that we remembered them again. Like it was like in the late 2000s, people love the Pixies now.
If they had come out like 10 years
if they
later,
came out in the late 90s, they would have been the biggest. Like they would have kind
Nirvana wouldn't have been a thing, probably.
Right, and Kurt Cobain always gave credit to the Pixies.
Of course, yeah, he always did.
Where they always people said, oh, you sound like the Sonic Youth and the Pixies and Mudhoney and stuff like that. And he would say it's better to be Pabst Blue Ribbon than to be Bud Light. And he meant it's better to be the Pixies than to be Nirvana, because you have all the fame and bullshit that goes with that instead of you have all the street cred that you're the college rock band.
Like I'm sorry, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's to me it would be that and not the Beatles, honestly. Honestly, yeah, we could do that. Give him that mic. For me, it would be that. For me, it would be. I'd rather have what the Red Hot Chili Peppers had versus the Beatles.
Right, you don't want to be at the tippy top, but you want to be.
Because of the social anxiety that I have and just dealing with people. No, I would never in my life want what the Beatles had. Never. No way.
I don't
want.
How. I don't want blank mania.
Yeah.
Like Yanni mania or Kid Loki mania.
Hulkamania
is totally okay.
Yeah, brother.
It's totally posy,
That's
brother.
Different. But you get what I'm saying. Like I would never want that. I would never want anything like that.
I think most of us that are on the level we're on now, and like I brought this up a while ago to another contemporary in the scene, was that like a lot of people are at the bottom looking at us in the middle thinking we're at the top. And like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a matter of get some damn perspective with what we do, because like we set the example for half the scene, and the other half of the scene we're looking up to, and we want to tour like them and have videos like them and have cool light shows like them. But you don't want to be. Nobody wants. I don't think anyone wants to be that guy that you have to dress up to go to the grocery store, and like you have paparazzi coming out of like
who would want that? Yeah.
No, but I don't
Absolutely.
think anybody really wants that
Wants
in the
it.
end.
Yeah.
Like, even if you want that when you're a kid, by the time you're 30, you don't want it.
No,
like, you
I
just want to
can't
be a
imagine that.
contender. You want to be able to, like, say, I pay a bill with what I do.
Shit with stuff and things.
Yeah, with stuff and things. And, like, it's very difficult to say. Like, I don't think anybody, like, have you guys heard the new Arcade Fire song, Creature Comfort?
No.
It's, to nutshell
jam.
it. To
The jam right now.
Yeah, to make a summary of it, it's just about the love-hate relationship with being famous.
Yeah.
That, like, once you become famous, you don't want to be, but when you're not, you would do anything for it.
Yeah.
And then when you are, you would do anything to go back. So realize that you're born in a diamond mine. Realize that you're already doing it now. And it's how you remember it. It's the perspective you have. It's not that, like, oh, we're not at fucking, Madison Square Garden playing for 10,000 people, so we didn't do it. Fuck everybody. Like, if you played for 20 people and made $50 between you, you are a working musician, and you've been doing it since then.
Yeah. From the moment that happened. Yeah.
Since someone paid money to hear you play, you've been a working musician,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you played for 4 or 400 or 4,000 people.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody starts off, oh man, first show 500 people saw it.
Yeah.
If you did, you're a liar too. Like, that's
Or you're the Doors.
or you're the Doors. Or you just happen to be in 1964 where a whole town is at one
Yeah.
fucking show every
Exactly.
night.
I wouldn't technically, like, my future view of what I would like to continue as Kid Loki is not really so much like tour and stuff. Like, touring is awesome. I got to go on a tour, but it was awesome with the Four Horsemen, like from Tampa.
7 to 9
Yeah,
Sorcery.
7 to 9 Sorcery, Bangarang, Rising Down, and Samurai Shotgun, and Wally Clark, and Savage City Blogs. It was awesome, but like the touring life is awesome, but playing shows, writing songs. Like, that's why I improvise most of my songs. Like, I don't have to put pressure on myself to be like, all right, here's a melody that I have to practice all over and over again. But I just like doing it spontaneously. And my main goal in life is to own a music venue. That way, like, all my friends that are musicians can come by and play, or just have it be like a hostel, not hostile, but like a hostel, like, almost like a camping ground.
Something comfortable, yeah.
Yeah, like almost like a meet, go straight to their next destination. They could just stay for a while, chill for a bit, either record with whatever we have there, or if we have like a festival going on, you guys can play, get more followers and just relax, get yourself ready for your tour. That's pretty much what I would be, is like the scene mom.
Almost like a summer campgrounds, but it would just be for touring
It's like Wet Hot
musicians and
American
workshop
Summer.
kids.
Yeah.
Like people that want to do band workshops and art workshops, and people that would want to like come and perform for a day or two,
Yeah.
and then like they could kind of like, if they wanted to record something, or if they wanted to do a live feed, we could do it from there via location.
That's a good idea. I think I that's a great idea. That's
Thank
actually
you.
like a practical
That's the
idea.
dream.
Yeah, that is my dream.
That's practical. That's like you're putting business together along with your creativity. Like, for me, what I want to do is I want to be able to quit my day job and say that I can make a decent living off of playing music.
Yes.
That's like my.
We'd like
all
to
I
get
wanna
there.
do.
We think that the living space venue, etc., would be kind of a vehicle for that. Where
Yeah,
like,
no, for sure.
we wouldn't have to pay that many taxes on it, and we could actually like almost not crowdfund, but like vend almost everything we needed to do for that. And then like I have some corporate endeavors that I've been working on, just regular day job stuff that I'm hoping that'll like quietly fund things while I do that until there's a day I can retire from that and basically
your
be
own-
self-sufficient
be
from art and
self-sufficient.
music and that kind of production.
Yeah.
We're all doing that right now. Like,
That's
all
right.
of us.
We were talking
taking
about
the
it.
steps. So
Yeah, we're all working a day job, doing what we love, and it's weird to talk to like family members about that and just be like, try to like do it like
It's like saying you're in the
practically.
circus.
Yeah, exactly. Because even to this day, like my dad, for example, I hope he never listens to this. But it's true. It's just the truth of the matter. Like, my dad, I know, like, he thinks this is dope, but in the back of his head is like,
it's a
just
pipe
get
dream.
a good job. Yeah,
It's a pipe
just get a
dream.
good job. And it's like, dude, I don't wanna be sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what that leads to, is like, this is what makes me happy. Like, playing music, creating music. You know, if I could make a living off of that, I think I would be okay with dying early, for example.
Yeah.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
You feel accomplished. You
Yeah,
feel accomplished now.
accomplished.
You could be satisfied with your journey so far, and no more could be okay.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you could say, I'm okay with this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay with where I went.
And I don't mean being famous either. I just mean like literally just
being
like
successful,
sustain
enjoying
myself. Yeah. If I could literally quit my day job and just tour, I would be the happiest man alive.
And
you
even
know?
if you're scraping, you're doing it.
Yeah, even if it's scraping, like, I don't even care. Like, I would, you know.
We have people that come through RLC that, like, they don't know where their next $50 are going to come from, and like they love it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, North by
if they
North
have
is
to
like
panhandle for it, they'll do it with a guitar in their hand. So they do it with dignity if they have to. But a lot of these people figure out ways that they can go to Alaska, go to Europe, go to South America, and play for people. And a lot of it is ingenuity and resourcefulness.
That's
and
the fast track for sure.
Yeah.
To doing it, that's the fast track. Like, that's like the comedian route, where the comedians typically, since they don't have like to purchase gear or anything
just
like that,
do
they
it
can
when you
just
go
talk.
on vacation.
Well, not even. What I'm trying to say is, like, they would not necessarily have a day job. They would live really broke, and they would just go to open mics and, you know, basically live off of the open mics and whatever places that would, like, you know, give them free food and stuff like that. You know, couch surfing and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, I don't know. I mean,
that's a less noble route of doing it, though.
It's a harder route.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean is that you really suffer unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Like, you really, like, I have friends that don't get me wrong, I've been there, but at the same time, like, I don't want to go back. And I've had friends that I've kind of pulled out from, like, they were living in a tent to, like, they now have their own apartment and job and are, you know, trying to get a car kind of thing, and like trying to like establish themselves as a person that's functioning.
Yeah.
And you can still do that and be an artist.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the artist that like lives in a hovel and like you paint, you paint on garbage and like you paint on garbage and you sell it all to rich people that they're just like, ooh, this is the new gutter art that I like this month, and like I buy it for $1,000 and it's on fucking cardboard and like just like, it's not, I mean, like, you can do it, but like, did you have to? Like, Basquiat was a famous painter and was self-proclaimed homeless, and he had a rich family.
Oh.
And he chose to be homeless. He chose to be a street kid.
Yeah.
He didn't do it for the fashion of it, but did he have to do it?
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. And like a lot of people you see your gutter punks that pull up in mommy's, Mercedes to a show, and then they preach that like they're not a consumer and they're not, they're not this and that, and they're an anarchist, but they're driving a German 2014 car into a punk rock
How does that
show.
make you feel?
It bugs me because I feel I'm more
SLC
gutter than gutter
punks.
punks.
It's like SLC punks.
Anarchy in the UK with my middle finger up, like, like you don't even live in the UK and you're preaching like God save the Queen, like.
It's weird because there's like two. I'm not gonna say their name, but there's like two bands that I know that they have like rich parents and stuff like that, so they're doing really well right now, and I'm just like, fuck you.
Right, because you didn't get that leg up, and that goes back to what we were talking about like ego and super ego and the id and stuff like that, where you're like this may pose a threat to me. I immediately don't like it.
No,
and
I'm still nice.
Destroy it.
I have
kindness.
to be nice. You have to be nice because it's
always kill him with kindness.
Yeah, it's like it's not. The thing is, it's like the music isn't bad. It's not that it's bad. It's just like that financial push that helps, obviously, because you can pay for advertising, you can pay for
music
all
videos,
this stuff,
awesome
recording,
gear,
all
better
that,
pickups, better mics.
Literally all that stuff. It's like it's not. I'm not trying to say like the talent isn't good, but
But it's rough when someone's got a mad leg up on you and they just started and they're playing like the backyard barbecue, and then you're still playing the little bars and you're like, man, I did this all on my own, but man, I wish I was on that stage, you know.
Exactly. If it's any of the bands that I'm thinking about, it's not that great.
Well, okay. Well, what she's trying to say is that she doesn't like the music. The bands are good.
It's a preference.
No, the bands are good. I get what you're saying though. She doesn't enjoy the music that they play.
Like if I could play that. I could play
Doesn't
that.
mean
I was
right.
in a band. I was in a band before I was in House of I that I could have ended up making money off of. That I could have ended up comfortable. I could have been doing what I'm talking about. What we're talking about right now. I could have ended up doing if I had stayed on that track. I didn't want to because I didn't care for it. So I did it.
There you go.
You know,
and you would have been happy doing it.
It was very easy to make the decision that I made.
Yeah.
So no, I don't care for that music. And if I had the money to do it, I wouldn't be doing that music.
No, you'd just be doing what y'all are doing
right
in a
now.
bigger way or in a different way.
Yeah.
And it would be because you have the resource. And it's
Exactly.
not to knock what y'all do now. You guys do great stuff. You release your own records. You have your own merch.
You mix and master
You've got
stuff. So
you've
that's
got
what's
it
up.
all the way down to like little merch items that you can just give away if you want that have your name on it. And that's the way to really do it. And like really, I mean, almost thinking a fans first like kind of mentality for like making merch and making it accessible to someone who's never heard of you and they just ended up at the bar you're playing and they're like, I want something from you and I have $1.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that means something. And you guys are doing it in, like I said about DIY ethic and a very punk rock ethic. You guys aren't on a label. You guys don't have sponsors and you're doing it on your own and you're hitting most of Central Florida doing it. And like as far as Miami and like that's
cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I wanna take over the Miami scene. I wanna go back to Miami. Like I've been trying to push that shit because Miami's starting to blow back up with like this vaporwave stuff, and I'm just like, fuck yeah! Like if that's what's happening down there, like
right, you want a piece of that.
I want a piece of that because it's like we were there before that shit
was
happened.
Mine, yo. That was mine.
My territory.
You know, we sat on the fucking curb in fucking downtown Miami in fucking 2010, 2009, getting asked if we wanted to, snort some cocaine and shit like that, and I was like 17 years old doing that. It's fucking crazy.
No, thank you, sir. But do you want to hear this funky beat?
I wrote a song about an octopus's garden.
We
We're
fucking
hang it up right on the fridge.
There was a venue that's probably doesn't exist anymore there that we went to play a show and the lights went out because of like the weather, and we were there literally till like 3 a.m. on a school night waiting to play, and then like it got to 3 o'clock in the morning and we were like, are we gonna play next? And the guy was just like, oh, there's like 2 more bands, and we're just like, fuck, we gotta go. Like we had to go. Like it was crazy. It was it was actually kind of packed that day, I remember.
No, that sucked. That sucked, not being able to play a show because it was, I guess, just because of the novelty of the fact that the lights were out. Like people were like, "Oh shit, what's gonna happen?" And it was because the rest of the show was on a generator. They ended up having to, like, the lights never, before we left, the lights never came back on. They figured out a way of keeping it going. So, like, those people weren't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we had to. It was ridiculous. 2 more bands. It was 3. I mean, we were like, we're going to be getting home when the sun comes up, So.
Yikes.
And then you'd have to go right to school.
And then I have to go right to school, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was a fun night. Fucking, what is it? Eve. Fuck you, Eve.
Yeah.
And that fucking douchebag, that
Adam.
fucking... No,
No, I'm joking.
I know his fucking name, that piece of shit. We just saw him recently, actually, at a little thing that we did in Miami for, it was kind of like an artist... What would you call that? Kind of like
Oh yeah, like that showcase thing.
Yeah, it was like a showcase thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw him there, so fuck you if you listen to this.
He acted like he didn't recognize us. I don't know. Personally, I don't think he did.
No, he did. He was like watching us. Oh yeah, but anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. Before we finish up here, thank you guys for coming very much.
Our pleasure.
And I guess just kind of like rattle off your plugs if you have any upcoming dates, your social media stuff, so people can follow you. Let us know.
You can find me on Facebook as Yanni Acropolis. There's no page. There might be a page Yanni at the Acropolis, like the original The Yanni. But I'm saying like I'm Yanni Acropolis as a person. And then I have a hip hop show at RLC coming up with Golden Era and Gabe and Chai on the 21st.
It's this week, right?
It's this coming Thursday. And then 14th. Stop. It is the 21st.
It is the 16th.
It is the 21st on Thursday. And then
It is, yes, sir.
and my band that I'm currently campaigning for is Fly Mordecai. You can find me on Facebook at under the URL Dalmatian Mice or Fly Mordecai Band, anything like that. I'm the only one. And then I'm Fly Mordecai on Instagram. There's just 3 Y's and 3 AIs, whatever. But yeah, that's me. And then I work at the bunker with RLC with Kid Loki, and here she is.
So my Instagram name isn't Kid Loki, but if you type in Kid Loki, you could find me. My Instagram name is at Lorz, LORZ 93. And
With the Z.
With the Z, yes, LORZ 93. And then my Facebook name is Laura Elise Proenza, Proenza. It's phonetics. Freaking sound it out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not playing any shows anytime soon, but if you come to the bunker on Thursdays and you see me and Yanni there, sometimes I might open the show with my ukulele and I improvise songs. So if you come with like a topic for me to sing, last weekend I sung about French fries and tits.
Yeah, it was funny as shit.
It was nice.
That was a good song.
Yeah, and then I sung about honey mustard or mustard.
Right.
Yeah, you know, the normal shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's me.
All right, well, cool, man. Thank you, guys. We did a long one today.
We did.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
That's what she said.
We have a show June 29th, Cage Brewing.
Yep. September 21st.
Last you.
Yeah, last you is the.
That's it? Is this us two?
Yeah, just those two.
What? That's gonna be a good show.
We're trying to book with.
I didn't even know
We're
that.
trying to book with the bunker, so we're figuring that out for July. So.
We didn't. I did not know that it was just Last You Know. So that just.
No. There's 3 bands. I don't remember the other name of the
Damn
band.
it, Daniel.
I don't remember.
Alright,
I'm sorry.
fair.
I haven't
Damn,
checked them
Daniel.
out. But yeah, June 29th at Cage Brewing with the Last You, and then hopefully the bunker in July. We're figuring that out, and then in September we're trying to book multiple gigs. We're playing September 21st at Jada Cole's,
Miami.
and we're trying to book for the 20th and the 22nd.
That's right.
In that area. So,
Yeah.
thanks guys for listening
Yes.
and subscribe. I'll post everyone's social media stuff so you can follow them. Peace.
Bye.
Woo.